So welcome everybody and Happy New Year. So it is very nice to have all of you for our first event of the year, at least with Agata, and we start right away with a really energizing topic for New Year's resolution. So we thought of giving you good hints and tips, and already exchange on experience and have good discussion to start the year. So we can repeat this event at the end of the year. Agata, I think we could already schedule this event for December and have a look all together if some of you have implemented the resolution that they took from this meeting.
That's a good idea. It's always good to have accountability partner, to check on you.
Yes, always a follow-up. So let's see how many people will commit to new resolution. So we first want to introduce a few rules that most of you already know from past events. So during the event you will be muted, so the interaction will be via chat and then the Q&A session. And yes, so we will have some interactive part as well. So as well, before we start, so one mentioned that the event will be recorded. So if some of you has any objection for that, or then you can express your objection, but otherwise the session will be published on our PMI YouTube channel. For the Zoom, so I think if everybody is in, you don't have any issue to get in. There will be polls during the event, and of course this is very interesting if more of the people participate, so please feel free to express yourself through the poll. Your questions, please put them in the chat box or raise the hand, and as we said, so there will be lots of room for your questions and discussions. And of course, the slides and answer to further questions will be shared after the event. So we want to see a bit where is everybody from. So please could you enter the pool?
Asia is missing. Is anyone from Asia?
Oh.
South Asia, woohoo, excellent. That's cool.
Wow. Is it home office?
Is it like a midnight?
Oh, wow. We want to have a picture in order to be sure that it's true.
Cool. How about the results? Okay.
Wow, Central and South America as well. Okay, so majority of people in Switzerland, so closer to the snow and to the mountain.
Hello, Helsinki. You can share your screen. Bruno.
Yeah. Okay, so we know we are a majority of people from Switzerland still, so probably home office throughout our Europe. And yeah, 4% of the people are other continents. So welcome everybody and welcome from the world. Before we start, we will also to encourage you to follow us on different social media platforms. So we are meanwhile in most of the important ones, and so we post the events everywhere. With YouTube, since the COVID starts, we have made lots of online events, so people can look at them after on the YouTube channel. So now, going to our topic of today, so we are very happy to have Agata with us to kick off this year. Agata has a very inspiring career. Started as a sailor, became and studied an economist, and started then the career as a scientist in the business, and has focused her career on digital learning and the innovative creation of digital learning platforms. So passionate about learning and exchanging and development technologies. So that's right, perfect to start there and to give us some hints about how we ourselves individually can look into our future and make use of the opportunities which are offered within new environments and innovations around for us. So I would hand over to Agata for starting.
Let me reshare my screen and please confirm that you can hear me well, because I've seen the comment that the quality was really bad. Is it better now?
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Cool. Super, excellent. So it's a good topic for the beginning of the year, everyone. I would like to invite you today to think about maybe the first, maybe the last, the New Year resolution, and to have a look. Okay, I'm sharing my full screen. Is it not a full screen now? Sorry for that. I will reshare my screen then again. Now should work. How about now? Full screen now. Super, excellent. So now we're good to go. Okay, so back to the topic. I think the situation outside in whatever country, it is what it is. And we have a certain challenges in front of us. But there are some tools and some measures. And this is exactly what I wanted to share with you today. So that at the end of this short event, you will be able to have a look at your career and consider it maybe from a bit different angle. Please feel free to type in your questions in the chat. We have 1 hour. I'll do my best to answer those questions. And let's move forward. So I would like to, first of all, introduce myself and then pass it over to you. And we're going to use some tools to that. So on my side, it's a bit easier. I started my career, as Celia mentioned, as a sailor. I'm Polish. I was born and raised in Poland, and that was my first 9 years of my life. You would say, like, you know, within 9 years you can do a lot. And I ended up in the national sailing team, winning Polish sailing championships. And it could have been a good beginning to maybe get to Olympics, but at a certain moment, maybe the Polish waters were a bit too cold. I also asked my parents, like, can I continue maybe in a more safe environment? And I always wanted to study. I was a good student, so that's how I pursued further on, and I did my PhD after sailing experience. But then I very quickly, as a scientist, switched to business. So I did my PhD economics, and I joined one of the startup companies during that time in Poland that were digitalizing learning experience. So I've spent more than 10 years working on different solutions and looking like how technology can support you in learning. And this brought me to Amsterdam, to a very fancy MTV studio, where we were designing innovative products and looking at what future can bring and how the new mobile technologies can support education. And I was working on my one of the products for education, how this particular piece can support education. But at the end, I ended up switching a country, and I moved to Switzerland, and this is where I am today. I'm part of the Philip Morris, and I'm leading the capability building for the consumer organization. I had, in the meantime, I joined Deloitte, so that was also the part of my career in the human capital practice. So still close to career development and looking at the future, what can we do best, and how can technology help us. I graduated from the Project Management Institute, the Leadership Masterclass, and joined the Switzerland chapter. I think it was almost 4 years ago, maybe a bit more. And today I'm serving as the PMI chapter president, and very happy to have you as the PMI community today with me. And I hope I'll share the best what I know of what will happen, to give you a bit of guidance how the future can look like, and the future on different aspects. And on my side, I also wanted to emphasize that even if we look at the working environment, the career environment, it's of course not everything. And I think we all feel that being stuck at home, working, we need this additional layer of life that we can express ourselves, that we can search for inspiration. For me, as you've seen by the past, it has always been sport. And I'm trying to do as much as I can, even in the confinement or semi-confinement of Switzerland, enjoying whatever activities could be done outside. And I'm also discovering that this is a very sustainable model. When you do have your work and you do have your exciting task to do, and you have this certain second element, either in sailing, skiing, whatever you can do in whatever circumstances, or maybe just enjoying a yoga every day, what I'm also doing to balance that both experiences. But on that, I wanted to invite you to introduce yourself, and maybe if you we can learn every day something. I wanted to share with you the Miro board, and I wanted now to share this link in the chat. Let me do that. I just need to start sharing my screen. And I would like you to open this link, and I will share. Oh gosh, this is not. Let's need to post to everyone. Where is chat to everyone? Ta-da! And now we are switching to the Miro board. And now I'm sharing my screen with you. Ta-da! Wow, we have so many people already in. It seems you're very confident in using this tool. And what I wanted to ask you is just to write a hello note. I know it would be super difficult to introduce ourselves within the numbers that we are here, but hopefully you can pick and choose one card and just say hello, and maybe the reason you would like to connect with your colleagues, and maybe even going through the board you can find some good patterns. You can add your name or add the sport or activity, or maybe a topic that is really within your interest. So we reach out to the level of hello for now. I need more. Cool, that looks great. Yeah, we have some good introductions in various languages. Hiking, skiing. I will just zoom out a little bit. Wow, it's a crowd here. You have a lot. Hola. And Johanna. Still busy with past year's resolutions. Yes. We're gonna address that. Cool, super. Big thank you for that. So let me go back to the deck and to the news. Let's go. Sure, I just need to put the presenter mode. So I have some news for you. You want me start from the good news or a bad news? We can start from the bad news. I don't see that. You can see the chat now. Bad. Okay, okay. If it's bad, it's bad. So let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that when you look at, in general in the work environment, you definitely see that automation is coming. And the automation is coming in a very unprecedented pace. And whatever we are touching, whatever industry we're in, the element of robots taking in our jobs, this is getting closer. So I don't know whether you had a chance to be served by robots making cocktails. It seems quite futuristic now when we are all stuck at home, and whatever we can wish we can serve ourselves. But this is the reality, and this is the robot introduced in the bar in Las Vegas, which potentially many of us would dream to go now, or at least to go somewhere from your environment that you are in. But when you look at the data from World Economic Forum and the Future of Job reports that has recently been released, the data says that 85 million jobs may be displaced by the shift in this division of labor between humans and machines. And okay, we can look at those data and say, okay, that's a lot. But on the additional element, for those workers who stay in their roles, the share of core skills that will change by 2025, it's coming, it's getting closer, is 40%, and even 50% of employees will need reskilling. So it might seem a bit scary if you look at it and say, okay, 150, I'm not sure how many people we have in the call, but I think we can do a bit of the math and almost point, that someone on the call on the right or on the left. And in general, the respondents of the Future of Job survey estimate that around 40% of workers will require reskilling of 6 months or less. So that will also take a time. And of course, on top of that, we have our global pandemic, which we all hope that, okay, it will get better in January, it will get better, in February, but we are where we are. And, having all the calls with friends that I have all around the world, or, even during the working hours, we just learned about new restrictions or restrictions to restrictions, or extending quarantine or extending whatever, testing. So definitely this element does not help us to get a job. And even being in Switzerland, when you can say, okay, maybe the unemployment rate is low, I literally hear every day that more and more people are just looking for a job. And it's of course not to Switzerland. I mean, you can look at any data from whatever country, and it's more like a question like how recent they are and how well people are capturing that. But definitely the global pandemic is not helping us. But there are also good news. And the good news is that exactly from the same report, from the World Economic Forum Future Jobs report, it says that 97 million new roles may emerge that are more adapted to the new division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms. So if you look at it, okay, there is a great opportunity that stands in front of us. And it's a question like, okay, where is it going? How to capture that? And definitely there are the roles already growing in demand, and that includes data analysts, scientists, AI, machine learning specialists, and robotics engineers. And even the coronavirus pandemic, as it hit the labor market, there was this immediate shift to this more socially distanced, more digital world, more digital roles. That the certain areas were definitely, the speed was just much faster because of the COVID and what happened. But if you go a bit deeper into the report, you may also see a bit of the patterns, meaning like how those source job families are flowing from the past to the future. And you can have a look and have some thoughts around, okay, if I'm in engineering industry, okay, some part of it will stay in engineering, but some part will flow to data and AI, and some part, for example, to the product development. If you are in human resources area, okay, it's not human resources anymore, it's switching more into people and culture. But still there are some elements that are flowing into, for example, data and AI in the human resource or in people management. If you are in sales, that can also shift, partially to sales, but then to people and culture. So there are certain flows, and you can think about it. Okay, where am I heading? Or potentially, like what are the opportunities that are somewhere on the horizon that I could tap into and consider what could be the next move and what is the best choice. And the technologies, of course, this is the hot topic of the technologies likely to be adopted by 2025. And this is another element that even if you are in your current career, in your current setup, thinking about, okay, what's the next steps, how to open the eyes, and where can I find the best place in 5 years, in 10 years, you have some answers that are already served on the table. You see the cloud computing, big data analytics, the Internet of Things and connected devices, encryption, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. I mean, this is already existing. The data are captured, and this is definitely an element that we can tap into. But technology is one part. Another part would be, okay, even if I go there, what are the skills? And this data is also prepared together with LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is capturing the demand that's coming from the people that are posting the job offers. And there are certain patterns that are also showcased here, that, okay, there is a demand in data analysts and scientists, in AI and machine learning specialists, in big data specialists, digital marketing and strategy specialists, process automation specialists, business development professionals. Those are the skills, the certain areas that are definitely companies are still looking for, no matter whether it's pandemic or there is no pandemic, or I mean the business needs to go and the business needs to continue. And on this decreasing demand, you may see data entry clerks, administrative executive secretaries, accounting, bookkeeping, payroll checks, accountants, auditors, assembly and factory workers. And if you look at those two elements, you see that, okay, it has to do definitely with the data. It has to do with the automation. I mean, certain areas are just much easier to be automated than in others. So that's definitely the point where you can have a look and checking the even the current situation. So on which side of this table am I now, or potentially even where my colleagues. And I don't need to go very far. Even from my experience from the latest reorganization, when I looked at Philip Morris, the number of executive assistants that were fired during the last reorganization, that was really a number. And I learned that on the other side. So I have a friend working for the university in Lausanne. When they posted a job offer for executive assistants, they said that they got like 150 CVs immediately, and a lot of them coming from the from the Philip Morris. I mean, even in Switzerland, it's a small market. I mean, you take something out here, it's appearing on the other side. But this is a bit the reality that for certain jobs, the demand is just not there. And for us, I mean, we have the measures, we have the knowledge to look forward and see where it goes. And of course, the skills. So this is the list of the top skills for 2025 that has been published by the World Economic Forum. And just looking at the first three: analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality, initiative. You can put on this layer of where the automation comes, how can machine do it for me? If the machine can do it for me, let it do it for me. Yeah? Or if I put my energy into the certain activity, I want to be the one that's creative. I want to be the one that it's solving the problem, and even showcase those skills in the environment that I'm currently in, to be first on the list, to be picked up whenever a certain new challenge will come into in the company I'm in. Just wanted to quickly cross-check with you. Do you have any questions to the topics or the data raised so far? I'm just looking at the chat now. So far, so good?
So far, so good from my view, Agata. Thank you. Very clear.
Thank you very much, Felix. Okay, so what's happening with the career paths? I mean, the career paths of the past were quite linear, I would say. I mean, if you look at your parents or your grandparents, it was more of the situation that, okay, you were, growing, you learned a certain skill or activity, and then you were making or perfectioning in that through your life. And ultimately, you were going up the ladder and taking more responsibility and growing up in the company. What's happening now, it's, as Sheryl Sandberg says, it's like a jungle gym. Yeah, it's not a ladder anymore. It's not that you go here and you go on and you go on and you go on, but that you do certain element now in here, and then maybe you do the lateral move, and maybe you go up, but at a certain moment you can also go down. And in the area of a certain workforce, you may need to face a situation that, okay, I have a boss that's younger than I am, yeah. And this is the reality. This is the career path of today, and I think this is something that we should acknowledge. And another example from the environment that I'm in. More and more decisions now are taken with the usage of certain tools, even when it comes to the skills and assignment people to the task. So within Philip Morris, we do run a sort of survey that we ask people for the skills that they have. We assess those skills, we cross-check with the supervisors, but then there is a pool of people with the pool of skills assigned. So whenever a new project is emerging, then the allocation of people is being done based on the skills and on the database of what exists in the system. Is no longer a situation that I know this, I know that, I know him, I know her. It's more of, okay, even if I know him and her, I'm cross-checking that within the database of skills and the pool of skills, because it is what it is. I mean, quite often we are recruited for a certain position and our employee does not even know that we have other skills within our package because we had no chance to express them. But in the certain area, then if you think about it holistically, if you bet on the right skills, you'll be the one that will be kind of, first picked as a team member. And I think ultimately that's the greatest pleasure. I don't know whether you have the same rules, like you are going to school and, in the PE classes, I mean, there were two teams and there was like a head picking the best players on one side and the second person was picking the best players on the other side. But this is a bit, the game we are playing all the time, that with a certain environment, we want to be the one that will be picked as the first one. And okay, you look at the data, you might say, okay, so what, yeah? And you might say, so what? I mean, of course you can, you can sit and, do nothing. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of new videos, a series on the Netflix. You may say, okay, it goes as it goes. The world is crazy anyway. I mean, I'm stuck at home anyway, and you know, I'll do my best. I just don't care. And of course, that's one of the solutions. But I wanted to encourage you today to be a bit more focused on the small project management activity and think about it. Okay, can I have a plan A and maybe a plan B? And even if that will not work, to have a plan C, so that you're more with the more confident, you can look at the future and you can be just ready for the things that are coming. And you can have, you know, just put the question, how am I going to learn? What am I going to learn? And there is the certain truth in the statement that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And this is the situation that we are tackling now. So if you look now back at those skills, have a look at those, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. How good you are in those skills. Just, you know, you can put it into the chat. So you can rate it from 1 to 5. Yeah, let's look at the, okay, analytical thinking and innovation. Try to be objective. If you say, okay, how good am I at analytical thinking and innovation? Be brave, just put something on the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's play the game. 2, 3, cool. 3. Depends who I ask. Oh, that's a very honest answer. Okay. I mean, the reality is that most probably you'll not be the one raising your hand, but it's exactly your colleagues will say, okay, this is the person that I want. How about the active learning? I think that learning has never ever been so up in the top skills listed by the World Economic Forum. I'm looking at those reports since a few years, and active learning, it has never been that up. Look at the number 2, how good you are in active learning. What have you learned last week? Okay, very honest answer. Always learning, love learning. You have it? Cool. Number 3, complex problem solving. Oh, okay. How about the complex problem solving? How good you are in the complex problem solving? Good, we have some 15. Yeah, I was not that very, you know, precise when it comes to the scale. But I think it's not the question of the scale. It's more on the question of, you know, really having a self-reflection on how things work for me, and if there is a certain gap that you can see clearly. You just asked someone to go on mute. Thank you.
Agata, you are on mute.
Yeah, I've just seen that host muted me, but okay, it's good now. Cool. You hear me now, yes? Yeah.
Yes, continue.
Okay, good. Yeah, so once you see that, okay, I have a certain gap in a certain area, what can I do about it? And I think that's the first thing that you can address, and you can say, okay, I acknowledge that, and I think that's the first part of realizing. And then, you know, the full year is ahead of us. I mean, we can do something on each and every element, and we can plan it properly, and we can move forward. But maybe to give it a little bit more holistic exercise, I wanted to invite you to set one sentence. And this one sentence is, it might be very easy, but it might be very difficult. So how are we going to get to this one sentence? Your personal strategic vision. The good thing is that how many of you, and I assume that a lot, but let's see. Do you know the strategy of your company? Yes or no? Yes, you know the strategy of your company. Woohoo! Cool. Okay, so in general, you know what's the strategy of your company. Excellent. So the good news is, and again, that the strategy is what makes organizations moving forward also works for the individual. So now my question is, how many of you has its own personal strategy? In my dreams, okay, yeah, there are some certain elements that are there. Some maybe not particularly yet there. Cool. So what I'll do, I'll help you to set one and to define it in a sentence. But to do that, I want to invite you to have a look at the short part of one of the, I would say probably the most famous TED Talks that is running within the PMI community. And let me share it now as a separate video. I will not show you the full one. I will just present the beginning part. So here we go. And of course, let me know if you hear it, because that's the, let me maybe just reshare it to confirm. Yes, it should work now.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly change the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe.
Ta-da. And not surprisingly, this is the same true for whatever we are doing in our life and how we advertise ourselves when it comes to the job. How often can you think about yourself approaching someone saying, this is what I do, and please hire me? And the element that is missing is really the why, the purpose, the cause, and the belief. And exactly what Simon Sinek said, that why you get up in the morning and why anyone should care. So once you are able to define that element, other pieces are becoming much easier, and other choices are also becoming much easier. And if you think about your experience, whenever you were looking for a job or whenever you were looking for a certain connection, if you managed to talk about the why with your colleague, if you manage to share the same purpose and the same cause and the same belief, how quicker the connection happened. And then how this all restructured the way that the further conversation was held. As much as you can believe in all the recruitment processes and all the AI scanning papers, still the best way to connect and find the purpose and find a great job and a good career is when you connect on the element of why. And sometimes it's just a conversation at the coffee machine. This is what happened to me when I was having conversation to join the Philip Morris. It was not the formal recruitment process that was announced somewhere, and I put the CV like 157 other, or even more. It was just a conversation at the coffee that we connected at the level of why, and then the other things just followed. So my task for you is to think about it and run the exercise. And I will also invite you here to join the Miro board, but this time to put a bit more, I would say, thoughtful process and content on it, and define just one sentence. One sentence that you can express, that you can state your personal strategic vision. And this is a bit of the hint here, that you have this structure of like starting with 2, and you put your contribution to inspire people, so that, and you can define your impact. So you can add this element. So now I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I will just share this link with you to the second Miro board. I just need to put chat to everyone. And I will go back to the Miro board and reshare the new board that we are having. Ta-da! Pick your card. I say it takes some time, but no worry. And for this time, I can either put, where is it? No, 15 minutes not. But I think 10 minutes is starts something that, gives a bit of the time to capture the thoughts and maybe even reflect on. I think someone has stolen the card with the text, but okay. You're getting really creative now. So you definitely nailed one skill today. Okay, let's give like 2 minutes to finalize the thoughts. Okay. Last finishing. That looks super good. Cool. Super. That was excellent work. If you can have a look within 10 minutes how much could be done. Don't forget to write it down. So this is not lost. Of course, I will check on you like exactly in 1 year. We're gonna run the webinar again, and then we see, you know, how far you moved with your strategy. Does anyone would like to share it, or is like super proud of what was created, or have some, you know, questions or thoughts around this area? I think we have like 10 minutes still to go, but I would like to rather open it for a certain conversation and maybe questions. I just wanted to emphasize that if you start with your why, all the other pieces will become easier. It's of course not the final recipe for everything, but definitely the moment you have your strategy defined, this is the good start. And you can take it further. You can start going into the detailed planning, and look at the further elements that you can put in the paper as the project manager, and try to, you know, be as precise as you can be with some additional tools and learning methods. On this topic, I'll be running a 2-day seminar with the Project Management Institute. So this is part of the big program of Seminars World. So if you would like to, you know, go much deeper and spend 2 days on redefining and defining your future career path, this is also an option. But definitely what we did today is a good start, and I hope that this can shape a bit more precisely the way you can move forward during this year. So I don't want to talk anymore. I'm happy to take your questions. I'm happy to even, you know, please unmute yourself and just have a conversation. Anything that help you, anything that you still find difficult. You're still playing with Miro, don't do it.
I used to always start and break the ice, Agata.
Let's go.
I think that even breaking the ice and sharing with the other people your purpose, your why, this exercise will be a big step forward in order for you to believe in it, and in order for you to take some actions. Otherwise, if we take it internally for ourselves, we won't be able to change. I think that human beings are by nature resistant to change. We need to have a driver. And I think this exercise that you are doing of putting us, let's say, between quotes on the spot to make this exercise will help all of us in order to make it a reality. So thanks for this opportunity, Agata, to force us to start believing in it.
You know, on the very personal side, I do have a great boss now, I have to admit, and she is the one forcing me to set up a meeting a bit about the career development. And honestly, even for me, it's like I do set up this meeting, I just throw it in the calendar, like in 3 weeks, then I shut my eyes, yeah, like. And then, you know, the closer it gets, the more, you know, difficult the situation is. Like, oh, I mean, I did set up this meeting. I need to, you know, propose something, you know. And this is exactly a bit the difficult part. I mean, we are just not sitting every evening on the sofa and wondering about, you know, what are the future jobs or where technology is coming. We're just not doing that. And whenever you have this this space and you mobilize yourself and you set the goal, and if you can do it with a supervisor, I think that's the excellent part. But you can do it with your friend. I mean, you can do it with whatever, you know, person you trust, that you sit together and say, okay, this is my goal, you know, this is where I'm aiming to. Even putting it on the paper helps. You can put on the paper, you can, you know, stick it as a yellow note. And then whenever a certain choice is coming on your table, or certain projects to engage, or even certain calls to take part, you look at your sticky note, it's like, is it aligned? Yes, it is. No, maybe it's not. And it gives you this guidance throughout the weeks in the year to define what am I going to do next. Yeah? Any other questions? Thank you, Felix. We have so many people. No one has, either it was super clear or it was super confusing. There are just two options for me. Maybe I should, you know, stop sharing the elements, but yeah, you have still access to that. You can copy that.
Hi, Agata. This is Johanny.
Hey.
So thanks a lot for this presentation. It was very informative, and the activity as well. I really enjoyed playing around with the cards, with the sticky notes. I just wanted to ask you regarding the transformation that many professionals have to go through, especially because of digitalization, and the importance of starting with why, which will ultimately lead us to change something, change a career, change a habit, change the way we see the world. So that could be very challenging for people. That could be actually a complex problem, as you were asking before. And in that respect, I wanted to ask you, what would you suggest professionals who may have a long time and may feel very comfortable in the position and the role they have in respect to that transformation? How should be the mindset towards that change?
I think it's always difficult to do the first move. You know, it's almost like, you know, you set up this meeting for a career development, and then it's the difficult part, like, okay, like, what am I gonna to present? How am I gonna start? Like, literally, like, you know, what the first element that you need to put something on the, you know, paper or on the drawing. I think once you just go and you do, and you put this paper in front of you and you start writing down, then the content will appear. It's like with any brainstorm that you are running. You can just, you know, brainstorm with you can brainstorm with your friends or with whoever you have with you, just to cross check, okay, you know, this is the first element. I mean, you may say, okay, I'm in a really good position, but then you can ask those questions like, do I have a plan B? I mean, there are certain elements that we have no influence on. And I think, like, you know, having this plan B or even plan C gives us just more confidence and let us, you know, sleep better. And I think, you know, just putting and making this first step and putting on the paper and then, you know, just writing a small step, like, you know, I'm gonna get there in this time. How to get there? I mean, this is a very project management related question. Yeah, we wanna get there in that time. Like, how to define the steps. We just don't do it for ourselves. I mean, we do it for so
Yes,
many purposes outside, you know.
Yes,
we do it for
absolutely.
the boss, we do it for, you know, this project, we do it for that project, we do it in volunteering world, like, you know, it's that's exactly things are going. We just don't do it for for ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So thanks a lot. If I may just add something on that, I think it's important to highlight the part that we may feel comfortable with our life, with our habits, because it has worked all the time. And, this is what we know. But as you were saying, many things will change. And I think in that respect, what may help, which has helped me personally, is to to expose ourselves to different things, different activities, different challenges, and maybe take it like a boot camp, like a preparation to possibly possible bigger challenges, bigger changes. Like we can enroll, let's say, in a volunteering activity, even at PMI Switzerland, for example. And as part of that, we can experience changes in how teams work, or changes in how we understand something. There is always opportunity to learn something new. And I think this can help to build a skill of resilience, and transformations can happen easier.
I mean, definitely, we like the status quo, and we like to be in a situation that we know what to expect, and we know the circumstances, and being on the safe side. But somehow we're gonna learn more if we expose us to the less known environment. And I mean, it's just encoded in our psychology that this is the difficult part. We just don't want to do it. Yeah, we just, I mean, even sometimes we want to go to do some sport, and then we kind of postpone till last element. And so like, okay, but I did agree to go with my friend. Okay, I'll just go because I agree with him, yeah, or with her. If I wouldn't agree, I would never go. Yeah? So this is sometimes a little bit the same experience, and the same opportunity. Yeah? That either we go or we stay. But then once we go, there is this amount of satisfaction that, oh, we did that. Yeah. Oh, we went through. Oh, it wasn't that scary at all. Yeah. And I think that's the beautiful element of learning and exposing ourselves to, even trying a tool that you never tried before. I haven't even assumed that many of you used Miro before. I said, let's try it. I mean, how difficult this can be. And you see, okay, maybe first 2 minutes, you don't know how the cursor goes right or left, or, up and down to zoom in and zoom out. But 3, 4, 5 minutes, you were all experts. Come on, after 10 minutes, you were able to create the good boards, with the great content on it, and you're good. It just sometimes we don't believe that we can get there. We have time for the last question, maybe not related to anything we talked before.
Yeah, but maybe there is a question from my side. I have some issues with finding some good sentence, because when I'm working, I try always to bring a very important point to the team. That's the fun. I always say the first important thing is to have fun. If you don't have fun, it will not be successful. But how can I bring my personal interest of fun into such a vision statement? Because I cannot say to my customer, I want to have you fun.
That might be
connected.
Anyone from the crowd that wants to take that question? Guys, do you have any advice how to include a bit of fun into life, or into a statement, or into a team?
No, into the vision statement, maybe. Into the team, I don't have experience.
Depends how you define fun.
Fun for me means also sometimes to laugh together.
Oh, we can laugh at many different things. Fun in a working environment can be perceived as engagement, excitement, being willing to do the best, and discovering new things each time. Some of you discovered the mirror thing today, so that was fun, discovering something new and funny, finally to use, and so on. Some others can describe fun as being a motivational call, I would say. Sometimes I start my team meetings by reminding people that PMI has been nominated as one of the 100 associations that will save the world, and that they have to keep that in mind as their main driver in pushing this forward. That's fun. Now, laughing all the time, not sure. I fired someone today. That wasn't fun.
Yes.
But I think it's a good indication that maybe it's not fun, but it's about engagement or engaging, yeah. And this has a bit different, I would say, connotation. It's, you know, fun can be sometimes too light to the working environment, but engagement is super important. And I think that you can find a good balance, and you can easily go to any consumer or customer saying that, you know, I'm the one bringing engagement or running certain activities in an engaged way.
And I think that the concept of purpose and belief on what you are doing, as Simon was saying, that you really understand the why you are doing the things, not what and how, but the real why, the real purpose. At the end of the day, you will be enjoying what you are doing. And I think that the enjoyment of what you're doing will bring you this concept of fun, because you really believe that there is a purpose behind, and then that I think this will enrich you and help you on being positive.
Marco, you have the raised hand.
So the video you showed us was explaining that after the why, then you have the how and the what. So my question to you is, how do you, after you find your why, which should be the hardest part, then how do you make yourself sure then your how and what are perfectly aligned to your why? So what's your strategy for this?
For me, it's the small choices that you make. Because literally, like, if you think about your plan or your day or your week, you look at that element and you say, okay, if I'm gonna do this meeting with that people, this meeting with that people, if I'm gonna do this presentation, if I'm gonna run this project, is it aligned with the why? And I think it really gives you the starting point to the activities, to the to-do list. It's almost like, you know, how can I prioritize my to-do list? My to-do list never ends. I mean, I can show you like my to-do list. It never ends. But then the question is, how much am I capable of filling in? I mean, I have 24 hours. I mean, I can sleep less. Maybe it's not that, you know, I wouldn't go far with that. But if I, even looking at the why, I can say, okay, this is the priority. This is what I really care for. And the rest, okay, maybe nothing will happen if I won't do it. Or maybe I can delegate it to someone. Or maybe I can say no. You have the right to say no too. So that's a bit my...
I think that defining the why also is a matter of defining the expectation that you have, and then activity by activity, you compare the results to the expectation, and then you move closer to what your why is.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you. And it's a long life exercise. Yeah? It's not something that you're gonna do quickly. Celia, over to you. I guess you're gonna tell me that we need to finish and close.
Well, I had as well a question or a comment. So I thought maybe I use 30 seconds for that. I just wanted to raise that I know a bunch of people who at any age are willing to change and to learn things new, etc., and who are really super open for developing themselves, etc. And basically what I observe is that actually what motivates people privately and professionally is always why I did something new or I learned something new. So people are fundamentally willing to learn. But I think there is a limitation not coming from the people and their inside drive, but more from what is expected on the market. Companies still focus on what you have done to select you for a job, to select you if you are in a pool. As you said before, there is a pool of people with skills, and the teams are going to be built based on the pool of the skills which are available. But I think there will be a real alignment in people learning capacity and really taking benefit on it if the next jobs, there is a move in the HR, in the way companies approach talent or people, in the way where they will look at what the people want to do and want to achieve and want to learn to assign the jobs, I would say. So once we will move from the CV, what you have done, and apply based on that, and what we will say, we will leave the CVs blank, and we will ask the people what you want to achieve, what you want to move to change. Then there will be a real alignment between innovation mindset and resources. I think
Definitely. I mean, definitely. But I think there is also the element that we can change. Yeah. In the sense that, okay, are you talking with your colleagues why you do stuff what you do? I think there is this element that you can start introducing that, and you can start raising that. This is important to me. Why are you within the team? Why are you picking someone? Why are you want to join us? So that you are also becoming the driver, and you help to change that approach. Even with this, technical skills matching exercise, there is also a space that you can look for the opportunities, and it also gives you this visibility of what my company is going to do, and having this element. Okay, I'm raising a hand because I'm super interested in this topic, even if I don't have the skills now. Can I just be part of it, and I can just learn about it? Yeah. But I think it is, it's a lot is on us too. So yeah, be the mover, be the mover, and let's make it happen. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. now.
so. We really need to close. So it was really super interesting. So now going back to our presentation, and I think I will speed up a bit the closing, because we have now 1 minute. Maybe we can spend 2 minutes. Going back. Oh, where is? So going back to now our closure. So Agata, thank you so much for this very lively exchange, and I think we have learned pretty much today, and we have got a really super good hint, especially how to focus our thoughts in stepping maybe a bit back and asking us the right question in order to really set a good basis of resolution for this year. So thank you very, very much. I just want to thank you as well, the team who helped us in the background to organize this event, especially Zatu and Pia, who took care of a smooth technical process. And I want to raise your attention on 3 events upcoming, which will be still in January, February, and April. I'm not going to describe them, but go simply on our PMI side, and you will have the details about it. So we expect to see you there. And last, please go to our survey and